Yeah, there's a crazy feedback.
Okay. Anita Bernacki. Oh, she's Anita?
Hear me.
Gotcha. Okay. Mary Kay Cobb, I don't see her anywhere. Julietta,
Present.
Chrissy Estrada,
Here.
Kathy Fern here, Monica Moore. Do not see her. Chris Racuso,
Here.
Laura Keeling is not here. Maria McDormand,
Here.
gotcha. Bridget Doherty Trebbing,
Here.
Scott Plinsner,
Here.
You want it?
Amelia Mano,
Yeah, the
Here.
working here.
and Mr. Grishaber. So you muted on both now. I see him. So I'm gonna mark him at present. Okay. Okay. Mr. G, if you can hear me, you can unmute that phone.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Kuzma is going to do a student spotlight. I don't see him.
No,
So
no, not today.
not today. Okay.
We're not going to do the CIWP either. My APs are way overworked this last week. They're putting in 15-hour days, so I gave them the night off.
No problem. Okay, announcements. So we were talking about the LSC parent vacancies. There will be 2 vacancies, starting with the meeting in July. Both myself and Chrissy Estrada will be parents of graduates as of that date. So we will no longer be eligible to be on the LSC. So we are looking for 2 parent reps to replace those positions. Right now, there's an email that was sent out by the school, and it's on the website, I'm sure, where you can download the 5 forms that are required, CPS forms. It's the regular election forms. It's nothing special. And you submit those to the school, to Ms. Diaz at the front desk before May 11th. Yep, before May 11th at 3 o'clock. They have to be submitted in person. You have to show an ID, so you can't just leave them with security. You have to make sure you go in and see Ms. Diaz. And then we will be requesting that you come to a special meeting that will be set up for presentations by you to the LSC and why you want to become part of the LSC. And then the LSC will convene, break into a closed session and vote on the spot that day, and then come out of closed session and announce the winner. And your term would start with the July organizational meeting, which has to be scheduled, but it's usually sometime after the 4th of July. And that is where the officers are chosen, the president or the chairperson, vice chair, FOIA, which I can never remember what that stands for, Freedom of Information person, and secretary. And then the different committees are formed too. So if you need any more information on that, you can feel free to email the Taft LSC. It's taftlsc@gmail.com. And if you know anybody who might be interested, we'd love to get some representation on the LSC from the Freshman Academy. So also, we are going to more than likely do this next meeting in May, on May 11th at the Freshman Academy in person. And we'll also still stream it as we are here today. So those logistics need to be worked out, but we want to keep the virtual attendance. It's a great way to engage everybody. So watch for that information. And then also this last
Kathy, are
week,
you sure it's not the varsity campus?
I was gonna
Isn't
do,
it the varsity campus?
I was gonna do one at each because we have 2 meetings left. So I thought the Freshman Academy would be a good place to start. It's a newer facility maybe, but we'll figure it out with Mr. Levins to see which one works better. And then Assistant Principals Week was just the past week. So we want to thank all of our assistant principals, Mr. Flores, Mr. Glowatz, Ms. Greenblatt, Ms. Hess, Mr. Kuzma, and Mr. Levins. So thank you, you guys. You make up a great team with Mr. G and keeping the school in a great running order. So thank you so much for all your hard work. I know this week has been incredibly challenging, so thank you. Okay, I need an approval for today's agenda. Can I get a motion to approve today's agenda from someone on the LSC? You guys can unmute
moved.
yourselves. Chris?
Yep.
Okay, can I get a second?
I second it, Maria.
Maria, okay. All those in favor? I'm going to
Aye.
do a roll call, I'm sorry. I haven't done the secretary for a while. This is for agenda. Okay, roll call to approve the agenda. Anita Bernacki.
Yes.
We don't have Mary Kay.
Nope.
Julietta Pasco.
Yes,
Chrissy Estrada.
Yes.
Kathy Fern, yes. Monica, no. Chris Raguso.
Yes.
Not Laura Keeling. Maria McDormand.
Yes.
Bridget Doherty Trebbing.
Yes.
Scott Plensner.
Yes.
Amelia Mano.
Yes.
And Mr. Ricochet.
Here,
Okay. You're approving the agenda.
yes, yeah.
Okay. Next, we need a motion to approve the minutes from March 9th.
So moved, Chris.
Okay.
Second.
second,
Okay, Julietta. Okay. Anita Bernacki.
Yes.
Julietta
Can
Pasco.
you hear me?
yes,
Very vaguely, Anita, you're very quiet. Okay. Chrissy?
Yes.
Estrada?
I'm gonna-
Kathy, I think Mary Kay is on.
I'm gonna switch.
Okay. Chris Raguso?
Aye.
Laura Keeling, no. Maria McDormand?
Yes.
Bridget Doherty Trebbing?
Yes.
Scott Plensner?
Yes.
Amelia Mano?
Yes.
Mr. Rishaber?
Yes,
Okay, great.
Kathy,
Yes.
hi, this is Mary
Hey,
Kay.
Mary Kay.
Todd. Hi, how are you?
Good. You want to approve the minutes?
Yes, please.
Okay, where are you? Right here. Perfect. Okay. Next, we have a representation from Chicago Park District. And I want to look up your name to say it correctly. Tom McManaman is on the line here. Let me unmute you. Okay, and he's going to talk to us about the update on the Freshman Academy. We're calling it the Salt Dome Path, which is the sidewalk from the Park District field that goes to the Freshman Academy. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Hello.
Thanks for coming.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So where are we at?
Well, I was with Mr. G at one of the meetings and the Alderman Spazzato as well with the Park District. And they are going to extend the pathway, since there was already a path now from the freshman campus to into the stadium.
Mhm,
So it's like at the southeast corner.
mhm.
So they're going to put a pathway from that gate going along the salt mine there, but it's inside the stadium to the current pathway that's there now.
Connecting.
So that, right, so that'll connect it. I've talked to Ryan over there and they'll open the gates in the morning. So if the teachers are going to park in there, they can walk straight through. They don't have to walk around and take 25 minutes. And if they're going to have class in the stadium, it's kind of the same thing. So, but that's approved and Alderman is sponsoring it from my last conversation with him. Don't know a timeline on it, but I know it's coming.
Hey, Tom, it's Chris Raguso. Who is overseeing this project? Is this going to be punted to the PBC or is this a Park District project?
It looks like it's going to be the Park District project.
Okay.
As
and
far as I know, I'm not 100% sure.
Can we get clarification on that? Because that's going to be critical. Because I
Okay.
want to know who at the Park District is the project manager. If I need to, engage Superintendent Kelly, I know General Counsel Tim King knows all about this. This path, I don't know if you know this, was supposed to connect the parking lot to the school from the very beginning. And how it stopped, nobody seems to know. So we really need to make sure that whomever are the stewards of this particular project does it right. Because I'm calling it the path to nowhere right now, the path that exists. I mean, you've seen it, I hope. It dumps out into a field of mud. We can't have our staff or our students walking through that.
Well, I think the original idea when this came up was to actually just put a path from the school into the stadium.
No,
for
it was to
kids
the
from-
parking lot. Because we've
What?
gotten a lot of grief from the industrial corridor. I can show you all my notes. It's documented. The industrial corridor is not happy with us because we use their main street in the mornings, and it's been grief from the beginning. So this provided us another means of ingress egress. We'd be able to drop off our kids in the morning and pick them up in the afternoon, and our teachers have woeful parking spots. So this was a solution to two major problems that this campus had presented itself with. So I'm not sure what happened. I just want to make sure moving forward that we have the right people on this and that we have that all parties are involved in regular updates. That's all.
Or Mr. G, do you got anything to add to this?
That's been my understanding since day one. I don't know how we veered off that course. It was always going to be a parking lot for our teachers and our staff, and then also for pickup and drop off. I don't know how that message got skewed along the way, but that's the original intent of why we were doing this whole thing.
Okay.
But again, I know communications during COVID has been tough sometimes, but that was the original intent of the whole project.
Okay, well, I was probably left out of that end of it because I know that the one concern that I always had was it took 20 minutes for the teachers to walk the kids over going up to Oak Park, and then it would take them, 15 minutes to walk back, and they
You
only had
reminded me of problem
20
number 3.
minutes.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
problem number 3. So we're
Right.
killing
Well-
we're killing 3 birds with 1 stone with this
Right.
path.
Right.
So Mr. McNamara, just very simply, I'd like to know who's running the project, which agency, if it's CPD or PBC. I'd also like to know who is the point on this project, and I'd like to know who's involved so that we can meet regularly on it to stay on top of it, so it doesn't fall by the wayside like this thing did. It should have been done by now, but that's okay. Things
Okay.
happen in life. We just need to get it right. And ideally before school starts in the fall.
Mr. G, did you have anything with Pat LeVar after we talked? Or with Nick
Yeah,
Spazzato?
I did talk to Pat LeVar, and I did talk to Alderman Spazzato, and both agreed to me, and they were both dumbfounded. I don't know what happened, Mr. G. It was supposed to go through. Alderman Spazzato, he's not a man of few words. He was saying some choice words about why it wasn't done. So all three of us are wondering what happened, why it didn't go all the way through.
Right.
So all of us are on the agreement that it will go through, and we gotta be on this thing like Mr. Russo's talking about.
Right. Was Nick Spazzato, was the alderman, was he going to be the point? That's what I guess I was asking her, because he said he was going to fund it, right?
He said he would fund $25,000 of it. I doubt that we're going to ask an alderman to be a point on something.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't know if
I mean-
he would, I know he wants to
Yeah.
be involved. I just didn't know
Yeah.
to what extent.
Yeah, and I also
I think
think
he just wants to be
Principal
informed.
Gershaber, I think
Okay.
the Madam Chair had recorded the meeting that you all were on, and Pat LeVar, Mr. McNanaman, had agreed to make sure that it was completed. So we have it recorded and him on video affirming that Park District would support whatever final piece needed to be completed.
Oh, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
I don't need recordings. I usually trust
Yeah.
people, so I'm good.
Well, we thought this thing was going to be done, months ago, and here we are fighting to get this thing done the right way. The way it was
Okay.
originally intended.
So Mr.
Well,
McGinnihan, if you can just, maybe keep the Taft LSC Gmail in the loop, or invite us to attend a meeting, or keep us regular updates, would be really great.
I will get as much information as I possibly can. I promise you.
Okay, thank you so
Well,
much.
Mr.
Madam
McManaman,
Chair,
if you
can-
we definitely need to know which agency is the very, very first step, which agency is going to oversee this, because that's going to change the course of how this thing gets executed.
I
If
would
it's
get
Park
you as
District,
much,
It's a very, very different process than Public Building Commission.
I will get you as much information as they give me, and if I don't have it, I will put you in that direction. How's that?
Thank you.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, Mr. McManaman, shoot me your email and I will forward that on to Ms. Raguso, and I know everything will get done. And I appreciate
Okay.
you. I appreciate you working with us too. Thank you.
Absolutely, you got it.
All
Will
right.
do.
Okay. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys need anything else, or you want me to stay on, or?
Entirely up to you, but I think we got what we needed today, so.
All right,
Thank you
well,
for your
if
time.
if you really can't get a hold of me, Maria McDormand's got my number since high school, so we're good.
All right. Thanks, Mr. McManaman.
Thanks
All
again
right.
for coming.
You're welcome, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye, Tommy.
Enjoy.
All right, thank you.
What
Um,
the fuck?
Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and remove him. Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
I'm not going to apologize for
I know.
asking basic questions and defending my school. So
Okay.
No,
I
nothing
want this-
needed.
I want this done right. I want our teachers to have a safe way from and to their parking lot, and I want our kids to have, and I want, you know, to mitigate the ingress egress issue that was created from before this campus was even built. So if he's upset that I asked him very basic questions, which I'm sorry, whomever from the park district didn't put the right person on who knows how this thing needs to be executed, not our problem.
Got it. Okay. Moving on, we are going to go to the principal report. Mr. Geshaber, do you need me to share
Okay.
anything?
No, I think I'm going to do a double team here. See if we can do this. Okay.
Oh, I probably have to allow you to share. Hold on.
I
Okay, go ahead.
don't know if I can. Let me see. One second, Kath.
Okay.
That's more like it.
Yep, I see it. It's coming.
Okay, is it large enough? Do I need to make it bigger?
I think that's good. Is it good for everybody?
I know. Let me see what I can do. I'll make it just a little bigger.
Okay.
Okay. So on the first competency A, we continue to have our weekly TCT meetings, freshman and sophomore weekly houses. April Teachers of the Month. I'll give them a shout out right now. Michelle Roman, Trent Eaton, Mari Callahan, Captain Mark Jenkins, Rainia, and Robert. All were Teachers of the Month. They're listed on the second line there. Competency B, let me scroll down a little bit. We held a lot of meetings last week. We held meetings for the Taft Reentry Safety Committee to discuss plans for hybrid learning. We got a lot of good information from them. We shared some of our plans and we altered them because of the safety committee. One of them, we were going to have altered bell schedules. And they said, you know what, let's stick to the 5-minute one. So it was really good input listening to them. We held a department chairperson's meeting to also discuss the hybrid learning on the next day. After that, we had a 3, 4, 5, 6. And so what people don't, if you don't know what that is, those are periods of the day. And so usually a teacher will have off one of those 4 periods. And we use that as a principal directed time where they pop into a virtual meeting and we kind of disseminate some information. We had that one to discuss the reentry plans for the hybrid. As you can understand, a lot of people were concerned, had some worries, or just needed some information. So we had the 3, 4, 5, and 6 on that. We had one the next day or this week too to talk about the SAT. The SAT went really well today. It's just amazing when you get educators together on a mission, and we tested over 900 kids today. And I think it went really well. And it was, I want to put a plug out to the PTSA, Mallory, who bought the staff lunches today from Tasty Catering. So that was a really nice surprise. Everybody really appreciated that. These box lunches that were, safe as far as COVID goes, instead of having like a buffet. So it was really nice of the PTSA. So special plug goes out to them. I'll put a plug out there. If anybody's not, their dues is lapsed, you know what? Contact the PTSA, Mallory, and up that dues, and because you got a real nice meal today. But thank you, PTSA. I've been having continual meetings with Mr. Eaton. Our website, I was hoping it would be ready to go today, but it looks like it's going to be ready by our May meeting. We really needed to get into not only the 21st century, but 2021, as far as our website goes. We were a little bit lagging behind. And I believe that a lot of people pick their schools sometimes by looking at our website and seeing how up to date we are. So it's a lot more pictures, a lot more videos. It's a lot more user friendly, I think, a lot more links linked to each other instead of only one path to get to it. We're updating all of our pictures of our faculty on the website because I think kids and parents deserve to see what their teacher looks like and to be able to email them right away. So it's going to be fine. Trent's doing a wonderful job on that. And it's going to have some nice features. So looking forward to that. Survey results, I put this on for fun. We asked our kids, we have a weekly one, if you were on a desert island, what food would you want the most? And so Panera came in first, Subway came in second. We asked them what their favorite music was. Hip hop had 49%, rock and roll 24%. And then what do you like, Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks? And not surprisingly, Dunkin' Donuts came in first at 51%. So those are fun things just to keep people looking at the website. Here's big news. Avid recently surpassed the $10 million mark this year in scholarships offered. So Avid over that program. So kudos goes out to Mr. Salinas. We beat Lane Tech in varsity football. That's always a big news for us. And then the debate team dominated their competition again. Mr. Cohen and the debate team just keep racking up these victories one after another. So kudos goes out to the debate team. We did hire Matt Kessler, activities and athletic director. He's going to be in the office right off of the gymnasium. So we're looking forward to him. We kind of stole him from sports administration. He is going to be a 52-week hire. And we're really looking forward to Matt. Matt knows the neighborhood. He was born and raised around here, so he understands our culture. He understands, the teams we play. Understands, the St. Pat's and the Notre Dames and the Rezes and the Von Steubens. He understands a lot of our rivalries and stuff like that. So it's good to have Matt on board. Maybe in May I'll have him stop by the meeting so you can meet him. We had a tour yesterday of the school, and some of our LSC members got to meet him, and some of our LSC members actually know him already. We held a family town hall meeting to discuss the plans for hybrid learning last week, and kudos goes out to our APs that were all dressed up on a I think it was a Wednesday night at 6:30 at night, but we had 1,200 people attending that. So 1,200 attending it, and probably 100 that couldn't get in because they weren't using their CPS email, but we recorded it. So I know probably another 400 or 500 watched the recording of it. So I think that helped out a lot with our kids coming back. It quelled a lot of the animosity or, worries about coming back and just some information. So that was good. I met with Larry Marsh, the class of 1959. Class of 1959 has been very generous over the years. They funded probably half of the alumni clock that we're going to have. They're always donating stuff, and Ryan and I have been to their luncheons on numerous occasions. They're just a great group of people. He donated from the class of 1959 $4,500 for our marquee. That's hopefully going to be on the corner of Natoma and Bryn Mawr. So I'm hoping to get that in about $15,000. I actually have an alumni, Ed, from the class of 1973, who's drawing up the specs for us right now. So it's going to be a really nice marquee that's going to have the same brick as as our original building here, like that yellow, I don't even know if they call it Chicago brick or something. It's got a special name to it, but it's going to be the same brick. It's going to say Taft High School, established 1939, and probably funded by the class of 1959. So that was a nice little start. As you know, we raised about $30,000 for the clock. So once I have that, once I hit up the alumni for that and put it in the alumni newsletter, we'll start to gain some money. We are continually getting money from the alumni, these $100 bills, thanks to the Alumni Association that puts it in their newsletter every month. About if anybody's forgotten, when we reconfigured and redid the seats in the auditorium, we told the alumni or anybody, if they want to buy an armrest placard on there, you can buy that for $100. And so it probably costs us $10 to get the little placard out. 90 goes to the school. We put their name on it. So it could be like to JJ Stam, your favorite student, or it could be the alumni's name or some saying that they had. So we've got 4 or 5 of those sitting on my desk right now. So that's always nice. So kudos goes out to the Alumni Association. And we continue to have our Eagle Sports live stream. Really nice. I get to get out to most of the events, but when I can't, or if I want to leave at halftime, I could finish it up at home with the live stream. Mr. McKinney, one of our English teachers, has been really supportive of that and really helping us out. So thank you, John, on that. I've been a member of the CPS High School Reopening Task Force, still doing that. Dates to remember, April 19th, 2021. Is our first day next week. Hopefully, if everything rolls out okay. I know there's some still negotiations going on, but I'm kind of confident that we're going to be back on the 19th. But you never know. April 22nd is our virtual parent-teacher conferences. one of the ancillary benefits coming out of this COVID thing is that I think we may be doing this virtual parent conferences going forward, because it really does help our parents, especially, we come from a neighborhood where a lot of people are working, till 5 o'clock. And so to try to get here by 5:30 to see a teacher is sometimes tough. So now that you can virtually do it from your phone, or, it seems to be really working well. So I think this might be something that we do going forward. Our graduation, like we said, is going to be a drive-through. June 13th. It's going to be just as good as last year. I had a lot of good compliments about it last year. Monday, June 21st, Academic Center graduation, another drive-through probably at the Academic Center. So that is the principal report. Any questions at all on that?
Alyssa, you should be able to unmute yourself if you have any questions. Everyone else, please stay on mute.
Mr. Gershaber, this is Bridget Doherty Trubbing. I had a question this week, as it was the first time that I'm doing the daily health screener in the morning. I know my daughter's school, when I go to their website, it's like really prominent on the website, like to click on a link. Is that something that we could get on the Taft website so that families and teachers could use that for the daily screener?
I'm sure we could. So I would contact Mr. Levins or because he talks to Tommy a lot. So talk to Mr. Levins, email him, and he'll get it on the website as best we can.
Okay.
Any other?
All right, great. You want to move on to budget?
Okay. Can you see this now? Yeah, it did come up. Good. Okay, so we have a couple of budget approvals. The first one is for $95,595, and I know you're saying, "Oh my God, what the heck is $94,595?" We've completed the driver's ed lot, which cost about $190,000, which we paid half, and sports administration paid the other half. We completed the engineers lot, and that shouldn't have to be done for 10 years or so. So the only two lots that we needed to do was the one on Northcott. It had a lot of bumps in it and stuff. And especially now, because what we've done last spring is a lot of those bushes around it were it looked like missing teeth on a face. And so we replaced all those bushes, so it looks really nice. There's a white brick wall that goes around it. I had the landscapers come out, and they actually took all the dirt off with a water pressure gun. So it looks really nice, but the lot doesn't look nice. So we got to get that lot looking just like the driver's ed lot. And we also piggybacked and said, you know what, if you're going to do that, we need the Bryn Mawr lot done also. Now they're not going to go down 6 inches deep and do that because it doesn't need that. And we can't really afford another $100,000 to do that. Really what it needs is a good cleaning, and then to have the lines redrawn again. So we're looking to do that. And that lot generally does better than the other ones because we don't have buses going through it like we had on the driver's ed lot. So it's $94,595 to get the last parking lot done. And then I don't think I'm going to be mentioning parking lots anymore in this LSC for many years to come, which is going to be good. The next thing is a school van that I'm recommending we procure. It's $64,000 right now. It's a white van. It's a 12-person minivan, and we put it in an account. And by the fall time, we will get this minivan. We will have to put the Taft. We'll get the Taft logo on the side. However, they do that with wraps right now. It'll look nice. Trust me, it will be the nicest looking van in the state. If I got anything to say about it, it'll be really cool. So I'm saying that we get that because I think it's going to save us $50,000 or $60,000 a year on just busing costs. So this is one of those assets. I love buying assets that save us money, or making assets that make us money, like concession stands and stuff like that. So $64,000 for the school van. And the last one is $12,500. That is for it's already paid for by the alumni. That is the foundation and the trough and the wiring to actually make the alumni clock work in the quad out there. So that's over $10,000. So I need your approval. The budget transfers, of course, we need to transfer the $94,000 out of a bucket into another bucket, and then $64,000 we need to transfer for that over to CPS, so they buy the van for us. We need $15,000 normal monthly business to offset negatives and then $175 to offset a negative for Medicare. And then on the book transfer, budget transfers are between budget lines. Book transfer is from our internal accounts. So we have the internal accounts of Taft donations that we're moving to $12,500 to be able to pay for the electric circuits. Any questions on these?
And just a reminder to everyone who's in the meeting today, we did have a budget meeting that just directly preceded this one, and we discussed these budget transfers at length.
I make a motion to approve the budget transfers as presented.
Okay, Chrissy. Can I get a second?
I'll second it, Maria.
Okay. All right, we're going to do a roll call vote. Anita Bernacki,
Yes.
Mary Kay Cobb,
Yes.
Julieta Pasco,
Yes.
Chrissy Estrada,
Yes.
Kathy Fern, yes. Monica did not join us. Chris Raguso,
Aye.
Laura, oh, she's not there. Maria McDormand,
Yes.
Bridget Doherty Trebbing,
Yes.
Scott Plunzner,
Yes.
Amelia Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Gershaber.
Yes.
Okay, great. Budget passes.
Kath, I have one more thing to talk about on budget that I think
Okay.
LSC should know about.
Go ahead.
That would be that in the budget meeting, the last couple of years, we've been increasing our enrollment by a couple hundred every year. And what had happened 2 years ago, they didn't give us a budget increase. And then we wound up going up about 200 kids. Last year, they didn't believe us that we were going to go up again, and we went up 300. So we went to them this year and we said, we have 2 years of historic data right now that shows that we are going to go up every year. And it really hurts us to have to wait to the 20th day for you to say, oh, you were right. You are going to go up. So they believed us this year. Laura Lamone, Dr. Lamone, our network chief, went to bat for us, and they actually allocated us 275 additional students before the numbers came in. So that's really nice. That's really going to help us out because I'm always at the beginning of the year, last 2 years, I'm playing a shell game, trying to keep these buckets open. And also the most important thing is staffing our students or staffing our classes. But now with this additional, probably $1.6 million of additional funding, now we can get the teachers that we need so the kids can get service day one with their teachers. So that's really a big thing right there. I wanted everybody to know. That'll bring our enrollment up to about 4,225 next year. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports, budget, Ms. Estrada.
No, I think other than that, Mr. G said he'd probably receive the budget by Monday morning of next week, and then we'll have to have a special meeting after they put something together to approve that, probably before the next LSC meeting.
Yep, we'll know the deadline too when he gets the budget. Facilities, Mr. Gusso.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The big news is the preparation for our kids and our staff to safely return on Monday. Several folks took a tour. Kathy posted it to the Google site so you could just see, but they are feverishly continuing to work to ensure the safety. We have about half our kids at both campuses returning. And again, they'll be returning Monday, the 19th. At the Freshman Academy, you heard the conversation about this path, which it's just perplexing why this is such a difficult thing. From the very beginning, it was supposed to connect the parking lot to our campus so that kids and teachers could safely walk, had a different means of ingress, egress into the campus. So we're going to continue to work with the Park District to get the path completed to the way it was originally supposed to be done. Again, Alderman Spizzato seems to continue to support us with that. So we're lucky we have his support. At the Varsity campus, we've had a significant upgrade to our security, our safety and security system. They just put in the new software, which is terrific because it gives us more latitude with our cameras and allows us to do more targeted snatched visuals of the campus at different perspectives. And Mr. Levins is going to get us a quote on how many additional cameras he and the team think we should install. We are evaluating our live streaming process. It's something that's new to Taft, but not really new to other schools. So Mr. Levins and the team is looking at ways to make sure that this becomes a norm for us and that we can live stream events and tap into events like the debate team, all of our other clubs, so we can see them in action without physically being there. And that was it for the facilities committee, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And also just to tack on to that, as we said at the beginning of the meeting, we're going to go ahead and keep the virtual meeting component of the LSC meeting going forward. We just have to figure out the logistics of that. So, okay, safety and security, Ms. McDormand.
Now we met today at our new time change, which is 3:10. Kat went over just some updates with security, which we already mentioned. There's going to be about 600 students a day at the varsity campus. They are in their shifts. There are 2 security positions open, so they're looking at resumes right now, hoping to get those hired soon. They also are hiring 2 new dean positions, and hopefully they'll be starting in the next couple weeks, just going through the hiring process. Getting to the academic center buses will still run. Somebody had questioned that. There are, right now, she was talking about drills. There's presently no drills since there's only 1 student right now. So as soon as the students return, the drills are resumed. We also have Elizabeth Halulus, who is the nurse who is working on emergency plans. They're putting together right now to get that going. And there were really no major changes in a lot of our incidents. The misconduct report was put in an email, and there really isn't making any difference. We'll see what happens when school starts, as Kat said, when everybody sees everybody face to face. There are 2 committees, one for each campus, the new health and safety committee for COVID-19, and their main role is to ensure that all plans and protocols are in place. They're looking at a software right now to send out mass emails for the future, so that if there is some kind of emergency, whether it be an evacuation, a fire, anything, that hopefully they can get one mass email put out to the entire school staff, and it could be quick. Kat's also going to check with downtown. She's going to see where they're at with that, and will get back to us for the future. And that was pretty much it.
Great, thank you. Friends of Taft, Ms. Bernacki.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, so the Alumni Association. This is a report from Ann Lundy, the president. So the Alumni Association will award 3 $1,000 scholarships to this year's senior class. Seniors will be able to find instructions and application forms on the Taft Alumni Association website, and to submit the forms online, applicants will need to obtain recommendations from at least 1 teacher, but there's more leeway because of the remote learning situation. Please encourage the teachers and staff counselors to help provide materials. We will collect information at our Eagle email. They're sorry to announce the death of Arlene Ware, a member of the class of June 1960. She, like Jim Jacobs, was a Garvey and Taft graduate in the Grease class. She was a longtime member of the alumni board and served several terms as our recording secretary. She was an elegant lady. And the week before Holy Week, the local school community lost Peter Hastings. He took over the Norwood Park and Onahan feeder schools as principal about the time Taft finished its years using Norwood Park School as a freshman branch. In 1989, when the LSCs were founded, they gave each school its own principal, and he served Onahan till his retirement. He sent a lot of good students to Taft. And our alumni board would be happy to talk to representatives of your board, perhaps after your reorganization at the end of the spring semester. We realize you have your work cut out for you with the delays in reopening the high schools. You are welcome to get in touch with us. So that was nice. And the Taft PTSA, this is from Mallory Kelly, the president of the PTSA. Our first ever flower sale had just over 100 orders. Pickups will be at the main campus on Saturday, May 22nd, next to door number 4. We will have extra flowers available for sale that day to pick up. And there'll be 4 half-inch annuals, geraniums, herbs, tomatoes, peppers, strawberries, accent plants, flats, and a couple hanging baskets, and 12-inch planters. She's also hoping to set up the leftover spiritware we still have on hand to sell at pickup too. She'll be sending out a sign up genius for volunteers in May. As long as they sell all the extras at pickup, we should profit about $2,800, and that's amazing. She sent out an email to the board asking if each of them were interested in running for the board position again next year. So far, I know I will have at least 1 opening. And they're in the process of planning some Teacher Appreciation Day items. It'll be a little bit different than what they've done in past years, but it'll be, they'll get something figured out. And it sounds like they did that today, which is awesome. And in conjunction with our transfer to the Friends of Taft, she will be creating a sign-up genius for parents who are interested in various committees for the new group. We want to get everything planned so we're ready to hit the ground running for the next school year. And that was her report. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. We have Mr. Prochaska on. Did you want to say anything else besides? I think we had everything from Miss Lundy. Are you good? Okay, thank you. In the meantime, we have Alderman Sposato joining us. So if it's okay with everyone, we're going to go ahead and give it to him real quick.
Thanks,
Hello.
Kath.
How are you?
Good. I apologize. I just totally blew it. I just totally forgot I was on the phone all night and no excuse. I jumped in just in time for Chris to hear Chris saying really nice things about me. So thanks, Chris. I know we're talking about the pathway. I'm just giving you my opinion. Pat LeVar, the number 2 man at the Park District, said he was going to go over it with me, but I just don't really see the Park District paying for this. I think they're going to say probably CPS has got to pay for it, and I'm willing to pitch in. And depending on what's it cost, I know I said I'd put 25 grand in. If it's 35 or 40 or something, I'm not going to nitpick over that. But so I don't know where we stand with that till I go over it with Pat LeVar, who's the deputy commissioner, first deputy, or whatever his title is, to figure out what we're going to do here. I don't know what Tom had to say, if he has any say at all about it. But I don't see the Park District say we'll build a pathway for you to the thing there. They're probably going to say CPS has got to pay, and that's why I'm willing to pitch in. But we're going to probably have to sort it out between. I'm not sure. I don't know who from the administration is on. Who from CPS we're going to have to talk to about them, pitching in a few bucks for this, because I look at it as a short path we can put right there, which will be cheap and easy, or go along the fence all the way around, which will be a little more complicated, a little more expensive. So, but that's just me. I'm not a cement guy or an architect or anything else like that. But that's it. I just want to have that input. LeVar did say he'd go over with me personally, and I just want to apologize for just blowing it and being late. So
That's all right. We had Mr. McMahon on earlier. We asked him if he would keep in touch with us regarding any updates, give us the idea of who's in charge of it, if it's going to be a CPS point person or a Park District person or a building commissioner person, so we can stay involved and keep scooching this process along. It's, as we've said, it's taken way too long, and seems like I really appreciate your support, Alderman.
It should have been up already. We got that nice pathway that ends at a mud pit. Is basically all it does. Yeah. So you got the gate there. No, you open the gate, and if it's rainy out or whatever, you're going to be walking through mud, and people aren't going to want to do that. So
right.
Nick, can you?
Yeah,
Nick?
Mark, we can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Nick, and I know that you're with us all the time on that, and I really appreciate you sticking up for us, and I really appreciate you, being able to give us $45,000 or $50,000. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate it.
Okay. Boy, the price is going up.
Okay. Does anybody on the LSC have any questions for the Alderman? All right, great. Thank you so much for being here, Alderman Sposato.
Thanks, Nick.
We will continue with the reports. We've got athletics, Ms. Cobb. You gotta unmute.
Well,
there you
hi,
go.
everyone.
Hello.
Hi. So our new athletic director, Matt Kessler, gave me this report. So I thank him very much. So spring sports are winding down and summer sports season has just begun. Football, boys soccer, girls volleyball, and water polo are all in full swing. Boys and girls lacrosse, girls soccer, boys volleyball, baseball, soft pitch softball, and track and field, wrestling and rugby are all getting started. Some notable March accomplishments. The varsity basketball team won their conference. The varsity Palms team won the city championship, and the varsity football team defeated Wayne, which was great. So that's it. So thank you, Mr. Kessler.
All right. Welcome, Mr. Kessler, and thank you, Mr. Kessler, and thank you, Ms. Cobb. Arts report, Mr. Cohen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Mr. Cohen.
Hi, Miss Cobb. Yeah, that Lane game was, I had to leave early because I had to go lead my family's Passover Seder, but probably lucky for me because I would have blown out the speakers on that last touchdown. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about arts. The big headline, this happened like the day after the previous meeting. So, but if you remember Catherine Herrera, who was the student spotlight last month, she is now the Illinois state champion of Poetry Out Loud. So congratulations to Kat and to Mr. Wilson, her coach. Kat is going to advance to the national semifinal round, which will be streamed on May 2nd at 11 a.m. on arts.gov. And then if and when she advances to the national finals, those will be streamed on the same website on May 27th, time to be determined. So go Kat, tremendous accomplishment. Also, she sort of pulled me aside virtually in class. I'm not at liberty to discuss her college options, but I can just say there are 3 schools that I could never have gotten into. So she's really, really killing it right now. And we're thrilled for her. From the drama department, Motorman is in pre-production. Mr. Nadig and a team of students have completed the first draft of their adaptation of David Oley's techno-surrealist novel Motorman. The script will be finalized and auditions will be held in June with the expectation that the world premiere production will fill the fall slot in the 2021-2022 Taft drama season, hopefully for a live audience. It'd be really, really great to get back to telling stories in a room full of people again. Additionally, the 2021 Student-Directed One-Act Festival is on. It's going forward. Mr. Cohen's directing students, my directing students, in collaboration with the Taft Drama Club, will be producing a one-act festival this year. This will mark Taft Drama's return to creating theatrical productions after a pandemic-induced one-year pause. As of now, the plan is to hold auditions, rehearsals, and performances all online over Google Meets. But we do hope that CPS guidance on after-school activities changes to allow us to film the performances in person. We're in communication with Mr. Levins on that on a pretty much weekly basis, and the communication's been pretty good 2 ways so far. So we're hopeful. But one way or another, we're going to have a one-act festival. Auditions will be held on April 29th and April 30th, if necessary, after school on the Drama Club Google Meet. And with 7 directors this year, we have our largest class ever, which means we have our largest festival ever, which represents a wealth of opportunities to perform. So we look forward to discovering new stars, working again with our veterans, and giving this truly spectacular senior class the final bow that they deserve. From the Visual Arts Department, student success. The Visual Arts Department is pleased to report that the students in their classes are continuing to produce amazing work in spite of the obstacles presented by remote learning. So that's a tribute to the kids and also to their teachers who are finding ways to innovate and reach those kids and keep them engaged and keep them learning. Really fantastic stuff. And I'm going to pivot now to debate. Mr. Grishaber mentioned it in passing, but the season's over, so I'm not going to get to talk about it for another 6 months. And I think it bears talking a little bit. So last weekend, we had the city championship tournament, and Taft had unprecedented success there. We competed on April 9th and April 10th. And we had 5 pairs of debaters who qualified for the city championship. They are Caitlin Andes, Nicholas Betston, Ashna Sani, Saisha Kapoor, Clark Sherman, Matthew Gustafson, Alexandra Boyke, Peyton Johnson, Phoebe Tozer, and Hugo Gahant, all first-year debaters competing in the novice division. At city championships, every school that qualifies gets to submit a proposed plan to argue over, which means that debaters had 2 weeks to prepare for this tournament. So they had to do in-depth research during spring break, developing arguments both affirmative and negative for each of the following issues: marijuana legalization, death penalty abolition, with and without the additional abolition of life sentences without parole, tribal sentencing reform, the comprehensive crime bill outlined in Joe Biden's presidential campaign platform, clemency reform, private prison abolition, police demilitarization, corporate espionage, and corporate crime in general, along with several other core files plans that we've been debating all year. At this point in the year is normally when the structural disadvantages that we face, not having a class sort of catch up with us and having a smaller team catch up with us, because other schools in the city have larger teams and they have more minds, more heads to put together. We had Leanne. Leanne, our varsity debater, our team captain, chief strategist this year, and Leanne and Phoebe and Hugo worked together to develop strategies for all of these plans. It's a mind-bending amount of work. Debate rounds last an hour and a half, so you have to be able to talk for an hour and a half about all of these things. They learned all of that in 2 weeks and taught it to the other debaters who were able to learn it and use it, because Taft had unprecedented success, including victories over teams from South Shore, Amundsen, Phoenix, Lindblom, and RCC teams from Solorio, Peyton, Northside, and Whitney Young. We beat all of them. Our teams beat teams from those schools. 2 pairs, Phoebe Tozer and Hugo Gahant, and Alexandra Boyke and Peyton Johnson, advanced to the city playoff rounds. These were the only teams from a school without a debate class, a daily debate class, to reach the playoffs in any division in the city. These were also the first teams from Taft to break into the city playoffs since 2015. So fantastic accomplishment and kudos to them. Phoebe and Hugo had a record of 3-2, including an upset victory over the reigning RCC Conference Championship team from Northside. So that's like North Dakota State, really good Division II football team, coming up and beating, I don't know, Michigan, when Michigan was good. They'll be good again. Apologies to anyone, go blue. And Alex and Peyton had a record of 4-1, including back-to-back wins over teams from Solorio and Peyton, and they beat the team that won the city championship from Whitney Young. That was the only loss that the city champions had the entire weekend, was to us in a preliminary round. Both teams reached the final 16 before dropping very close rounds to teams from Northside. And this happened after 13 consecutive hours of debating on Saturday. Finally, individually, Taft had 2 of the top 10 individual debaters in the city. Hugo Gahant placed 10th and Phoebe Tozer placed 8th. They're going to be moving straight up to varsity. They're skipping JV next year. We're going to strike while the iron's hot. Finally, 1 box of trophies and medals from this season has arrived. So we've got a couple of plaques on display in the main office, and I've got a drawer full of medals. We're expecting, based on the results we had, we're expecting 2 to 3 more boxes to arrive in the next few weeks for the rest of our haul. So huge congratulations to the debate team. And it's really been a dream season. And Mr. G, I just have to correct you. It's not Mr. Cohen and the debate team. It's Coach Cohen and Coach Walls, who has been an invaluable asset as well in her first year. She has learned more than I learned in my first 3 years. And she's going to be a tremendous asset to the team and to the school going forward. And to Leanne, who gave up her season so that other folks could have a season. Thank you. That's it for Taft Debate. That's it for the arts. Go Eagles.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. That's amazing. Everybody's worked really, really hard. Good job, all. Okay, PPLC, Ms. Doherty Trubbing or Mr. Plensner.
Okay, I'll get started and we'll go back and forth. The PPLC, made up of 9 Taft teachers elected by their peers, met on April 6th, last week, 7 days ago. We discussed many issues. We tried to develop some recommendations to the principal and to you, the LSC. We were happy to have lots of discussions with administration at this meeting. Much of the meeting was spent discussing the school building reopening, which is the biggest news at Taft right now. And we did submit our entire agenda to the shared folder for those of you on the LSC, so you could review it Bridget, take it away.
Yeah, so a few things to note. One thing that we've talked about several times and is still a really important plan for us is working with Chicago artist Tanika Johnson and her folded map project and continuing the PD at our school. We had originally set our sights on Friday of this week, and then when we entered the phase of school reopening and the focus really being on that, we decided to reschedule that. So we talked to Mr. Gershaber and he gave us a couple of good dates to work with, either at the very end of the school year or the very beginning of the school year next year. So we're working on just securing her availability, seeing what she charges for that, and coming up with something amazing. And as we talked about before, we'll be inviting all the members of the LSC to attend those sessions. And then we also, again, at this meeting, talked quite a bit about just sort of nuts and bolts things related to the school reopening. And specifically as a PPLC, we were kind of checking in with our school administration to see what had been provided to us by CPS and if there might be anything additional that we would need to use our own school budget to purchase. So everything from things like door stops for rooms so that, you know, there's not the, you know, touching of the opening and closing doors. But then we additionally looked at things like any possible changes to student schedules, teacher schedules, PPE, all of those things. So we have found this week that, you know, most of those things have been provided by CPS, and there seems to be a good process in place if we need additional items. Mr. Plinster, I'm going to throw it back to you.
All right. Two other things we talked about. This one, the meeting got a little more meta. One of the things was that we're considering the fact that we're teaching students for a digital world. The future is of business, and just about every field is on the internet. And considering the way teaching has changed in the past year, we recommended the development of a plan for one-to-one Chromebook distribution for Taft students. Currently, we have a lot of Chromebooks, as you know, but we only have a few class sets per department, and that's been insufficient to meet the demand. Teachers always want to use them, and they have to share them, and it gets pretty competitive. Our PPLC teacher staff poll, we did a poll, I'll talk about it in a moment, found that an overwhelming majority of those surveyed supported a one-to-one plan over other plans presented. Mr. Gershaber talked with us about the cost of the program, which is substantial, especially if you want those Chromebooks to last. We talked about things that you might not think about, like carrying cases and charging. He did not rule this out. He said he would consider this plan or some version of it. He's open-minded to seeing how it goes. I think he mentioned earlier in the meeting something like, you know, let's see how this goes with the Chromebooks we've already lent out. So we're going to research the rollout at other schools of similar programs. We're going to research costs, which is going to include maintenance and protective cases. We hope the LSC sees the benefit of improving equitable student access to these resources, and we'll support this. It's going to be a long-term effort. Any advice or ideas you have are invited privately and publicly. Another recommendation we made, and it was our last recommendation in the meeting, was even more meta. We recommended that Taft administration includes teachers in some way as collaborators and contributors to the planning and adoption of any curriculum changes and general policies where it is appropriate to do so. Problems with communication between teachers and administration brought on by the COVID shutdown and some more long-standing issues were discussed candidly, which was wonderful. As administration felt they had already been including teachers, at least department chairs, in the planning and adoption of curriculum changes. So we discussed the benefits of buy-in, the sense of ownership by the staff which delivers that curriculum. And we have many experts, that's what I'm going to say, willing to lend a hand. We have a lot of work to do at Taft always, every day. For example, today was, more work than you can imagine to get those SATs. And everyone at Taft, we have a common goal, and we want to help administration do that. Mr. Gershaber noted he saw areas where this sort of collaboration could be improved, as it always can, but he hoped we would, as teachers, take advantage of places where we already can have an influence. Solutions such as more department time, more interactive staff meetings were suggested. And I would like to mention the 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings were definitely more interactive than in the past. Although, yeah, so it was good to see all that. Then administration was, oh, I'm stepping on you, Bridget, go.
No,
Sometimes
that's
I get
all
on a
right.
roll.
Yeah, so we just wanted to also share, so again, part of our job as the PPLC is to make formal recommendations to the principal and the LSC. But then we also had a variety of things that we discussed that they're not yet formal recommendations, but just that we would like to be able to share with LSC. One of them is we have been working on, we created a pretty extensive survey or poll for our staff members to get input on things related to budget, whether that's software, instructional supplies, technology, to be able to get staff input, again, on budgetary needs and decisions, on curriculum ideas. So we've been working through looking at that data so it can inform our recommendations. And I think that will be really helpful. And we know that we're still awaiting CPS to give schools their budget for next school year. We continued to discuss being focused on having balanced class sizes, avoiding overcrowded classes, oversized classes, teachers with more students than they should have. And really thinking about, what are solutions, what are ways to come up with solutions at our school for this problem. We also talked about just increasingly being creative about how we inform and involve our students in all of the awesome course offerings that we have at Taft. So when it's the time of year for students to select their courses for the upcoming school year, just how do we make that process as contemporary as possible, as student focused, maybe try different things, because some of these things have certainly been challenging being fully remote. And then one important topic that has come up a number of times with our staff that we were hoping to discuss at the recent PPLC meeting is really exploring the importance of media literacy with our students. That has, been relevant and important for a long time. But I think we're finding that is increasingly important, particularly in a culture that we're sort of flooded with misinformation and disinformation, and helping students navigate that. I think that's it. Did I catch it all, Mr. Clinton?
I think so, but I want to point out that the final part of the meeting that we were just discussing, administration wasn't at that part, so don't hold them to that. But we're always open to your ideas and suggestions. We want to answer your questions, and we want to show you guys, show you all what it looks like from the classroom level, at least from the teacher point of view. That's what we're here for. So always see us as a resource, LSC. That's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the LSC to the teachers for the PPLC? Okay, then last but not least, we have the student representative report from Miss Mano.
Hello. Hold on, let me just pull the report up. Okay. All right, good evening. And these are the main points I want to cover for the LSC meeting today. So as everyone pretty much knows, all juniors and some select seniors took the SAT early this morning. And I wanted to briefly take the opportunity to congratulate everyone for their hard work in their preparation and performance in taking the exam. And of course, if anyone who needed to take the exam missed their opportunity today for any reason, the makeup exam is on the 27th. A lot of students are excited to be returning to in-person learning on Monday, April the 19th, and a lot of teachers have already returned to their classrooms in anticipation of next week. And this week marks the end of quarter 3, and Friday will be a day off for students as school improvement day. And hopefully as school begins to slowly reopen, more opportunities will present themselves to students to engage in school-based activities and extracurriculars. Some clubs didn't have viable remote strategies to continue operation, and optimistically, we'll begin to see those opening up again as time goes on. So I think a lot of students are looking forward to their clubs coming back and being able to attend school again and participate in them. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Ms. Mano from the LSE? Great. Okay, old business. Just wanted to let everyone know that we had planned on having a presentation today from Mr. Nicholas from the counseling department, but due to the fact that the school's reopening and there was so much stuff going on, we decided to push that off to the next meeting. So we will have him at the next meeting. So thank you, everybody, for your patience on that. Any other old business or new business from the LSC? Okay, and I don't have any public participation. I didn't see anything in the chat. So if that's the case, I believe we are done. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Who was first?
Public
Okay.
participation.
What's that?
No, I'm done. I'm good.
Okay. Okay, then we are adjourned for today. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Bye,
Take care,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.